People in the MAGA movement will often tell you that they're not in a cult. But when was the last time any of these buffoons provided any substantive feedback against Donald Trump? He can literally turn the worst ideas in the world into political discourse, and because they are so good at setting the narrative as far as what is being discussed on mainstream media and alternative media, it doesn't matter what the hell he says, they are all in. And the best example of this is this whole Greenland discussion, where Donald Trump wouldn't even commit to not invading or using military force against our own NATO ally. This should be a non-starter and a disqualifier. But because Donald Trump said it, everybody is having this conversation. Since when is it okay to talk about using military force against our own allies? This is absolutely despicable. Let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly Donald Trump said, and then we will look at some of the insanity that is being pushed on mainstream media and alternative media alike.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen.
This is just pure insanity. He's talking about the free world and protecting the free world. And this is not how we should be talking about our allies. This is why we make strategic partnerships with people around the world. We have bases on Greenland. We don't just threaten to take over their territory because you think it would be a good asset to have under the American umbrella. This is just simply not okay. But here Rick Scott is seemingly excited to acquire Greenland. This is a sitting Republican member of Congress.
Florida. Mr. Senator, taking over Greenland and the canal isn't a realistic proposal, is it? It's just a negotiating tactic, isn't it?
Well, it'd be pretty exciting. I mean, if you think about it, we've got a president now that's going to focus on our national security. And if you listen to what he's saying, I mean, it would be a great strategic asset, Greenland would be, for our defense. That's number one. And number two is the Panama Canal, if they're not treating us fairly, I mean, that's not fair. I mean, we built it, we paid for it. And so they need to treat us fairly. So I'm excited that he cares about American commerce. I'm excited he cares about national security.
Denmark is a NATO ally. These are our friends. If we need to go to war with Russia or China or whatever these lunatics have in mind, we have strategic partnerships in place. This is just pure insanity. And I don't know if this is like some sort of litmus test or some sort of loyalty test that every single Republican or every single MAGA adherent needs to come out and parrot all these talking points. But that doesn't make it any less insane. We even have people over on Fox News, Ainsley Earhardt, talking about, well, this would be really great to have for wartime.
Well, Greenland, strategically, it makes sense because it's the halfway point between our country and the UK. So it would make sense to have that for war purposes if we ever got to that point. Also, we have a big space facility there as well.
So here it is again. Fox News doing Donald Trump's bidding. Where is the pushback against this terrible idea? Where is the substantive critique of Donald Trump threatening our allies? The United States has played a pivotal role in the stability of our world, and now Donald Trump is destabilizing all of that. He's talking about taking over Canada, Mexico, now Greenland. This is not legitimate political discussion. Where is the pushback? Here is another congressperson, Ronny Jackson, talking about how NATO should applaud the taking over of its own ally.
No more of this globalist attitude. It's going to be America first now. Those are both, Greenland and the Panama Canal, are very important to the national security of this country, not just to this country, but the national security and the free world. They're important to the free world. That's why, NATO, Europe, Denmark, they should all be, applauding efforts to be involved in Greenland and potentially, take over Greenland, because if they don't have the political will, economically, militarily, they can't do it, then they need to let us do it, because it's important that the threat from Russia is real. The threat from China is real. It's gonna come into play at some point in the near future, and there's going to be people looking back and wishing that this would have happened if it doesn't happen. And I honestly think that if anybody can push this forward and really get something done in this regard, it's obviously President Trump.
Do you notice how he used the exact same language as Donald Trump? Well, we're talking about the security of the free world. Donald Trump doesn't normally use that phrase, but he mentioned it yesterday, so all of these MAGA lunatics are out there using the exact same language. This is how we know it is a coordinated effort from those in the MAGA movement. These people are so insanely good at setting the narrative for what people are talking about. And I don't know how we push back against this. Even I have to come out and say how insane this is. This isn't what I want to be talking about. I want to be talking about policies that are going to make the Americans' lives better. And you have Donald Trump, who was supposed to be this anti-war candidate, now talking about invading our allies. Do these people not see the contradiction in what Donald Trump is saying? How is taking over Canada or Mexico or Greenland, how is that an anti-war stance? Especially when he's coming out and not committing or to not using the military against Greenland. Where is the substantive pushback? Where are the principled Republicans that are just going to stand up and say, hey, this isn't how we do business anymore? What is this infatuation Donald Trump has with Greenland? Does he think that expanding American territory is somehow going to cement his legacy or something? What is going on here? This is not a serious idea. And we should be pushing back as hard as we can on this insanity. Here Sean Hannity is talking about, well, Greenland is being treated poorly. And of course, this is something that we have come to expect from the MAGA movement. They are always the victim. We are always getting screwed in some way. And now they are just projecting that onto this Greenland situation as well.
If you look at Greenland, for example, if the people there are being treated horribly, I would bet the people would probably vote for an alliance with the U.S. And guess what? I think it would be in their best interest.
Would it be in their best interest? Would it be in the United States' best interest to threaten our NATO ally like this? Is this how the United States wants to be viewed around the world? Because I certainly do not like this type of rhetoric. I certainly do not like the incoming president threatening our allies. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the world is laughing at the United States right about now. And they should be. This is absolutely bananas. This is not legitimate political discourse. And I am so disheartened by the MAGA movement and those who voted for Donald Trump that they just cannot come out and say, hey, maybe this one is a bad idea. And Donald Trump is staffing up his administration with all of the yes men, All of the people that will provide zero pushback on this insanity. So we are in for one hell of a ride, and we should call these MAGA lunatics out every step of the way, because not only are they bankrupt of all of their morals, they've thrown all of their principles aside, and they are hurting the United States of America on the world stage. Hands down, that is what is happening. And these countries aren't just going to stand by and be bullied on for the next 4 years. So let's call these jerks out every step of the way. Let's try to reframe these discussions or get rid of these discussions. I don't know how we do that. But we should be talking about things that are going to make Americans' lives better. Even if we were to purchase Greenland, where are we going to get $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion? Who knows how much it would cost? But I thought America was supposed to be in dire straits right now. Isn't that what Donald Trump ran on? Where are we going to pull this trillions of dollars out of? How? This is not even feasible. And it is wild to me that nobody in the MAGA movement has come out and pointed that out. It is so obvious. It's so obvious. But I will leave it there for now. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to hit that like button and subscribe. We need to build a progressive media ecosystem that can push back against the right-wing media ecosystem that is a dumpster fire of misinformation and disinformation and agenda setting. We've got to build something that can push back strong against what they're pushing. So please do remember to hit that subscribe button. If you want to see just how insane Donald Trump is when it comes to this Greenland issue, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.